What's up guys? So today I am going to be reviewing the Sneak Energy pre-workout, pre-gaming workout. So these are branded as a gaming supplement. However, I am an athlete. I'm a professional bobsledder for Great Britain. So I'm going to compare these by flavor. I'm also going to compare them to the pre-workout that I'm currently using, Gold Standard. So let's waste no time. Let's get straight into it. Let's go. Okay, so let's address one thing right off the bat. I am not going to be drinking all of these right now, because otherwise there's not a chance I sleep today or probably for the rest of the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste these and give you my feedback on the flavors, and maybe just kind of talk about some other stuff, and then I'm going to trial them throughout the week, maybe one a day, just before my training, and see how they do as actual pre-workout. So we're looking at flavor, color, all of that first, and then we'll flip to the end of the week and I'll give you my feedback on them as an actual pre-workout. So first things apparent here is the colors. The colors are awesome. Now I deliberately ordered a kind of a range of colors here because I wanted to see them all next to each other and everything. But yeah, the colors are popping and they just like kind of, they look appealing. Something else I should address, these are supposed to be mixed in a 300 milliliter mixer, something more along the lines of this, or the mixer that they sell, but didn't want to do that, so they're in here. Now the first thing that strikes me preparing all of these is how well they actually mix. Now, you may not be able to see here, but there's maybe a millimeter of kind of residue on the bottom, but that's to be expected because I'm using way less liquid than there should be. But I know from experience with my Gold Standard pre-workout that even in the larger bottle, this one doesn't dissolve. And you can see here, like with the same amount of pre-workout, in this one there's just clumps and loads of residue in the bottom. And I know that even in a full-size bottle, that isn't going away. Now, in these ones, yes, I can stir it up a little bit, but honestly, the powder just seems like that little bit finer and is going to dissolve a little bit better than the current one I've got, which is honestly really quite a big deal. Okay, so let's get into some flavor testing now. Okay, I'm going to have to look at these to tell you what flavor we've got. So this first one that's up is Blue Raspberry. Now obviously the colors do make sense to the name as well, at least it does with Blue Raspberry. So first one, cheers. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty typical as to what you would expect from a Blue Raspberry flavor. Now I feel like maybe with all of these, if I drink the whole thing, I'm going to end up with a blue tongue and a pink tongue and a purple and a green and a yellow tongue. Something which I don't get with my current one, but I think that's because of the colorings used for making them so bright. Yeah, it's quite nice, as you would expect from a pre-workout. It's very sweet, but it's not bitter sweet. At least this one isn't, and we'll see what the others are saying. Because the thing with a lot of pre-workouts is it can be so sweet that it's almost verging on bitter. So let's go ahead and try strawberry watermelon. Okay, that's nice. That's really nice, actually. Yeah. Well, so far, these have really stuck to their flavors because you can get both the watermelon and the strawberry flavor from that. Now, it'll come as no surprise. It doesn't taste like actual watermelon or actual strawberries, but if you had kind of watermelon candy or anything like that, it's just like that. And then there's a hint of strawberry. It smells mostly of watermelon, or watermelon flavor again. Yeah, that's pretty nice though. You can tell as I'm going for 2 sips. Damn, I'm glad I'm not drinking all of these. They're so sweet. Okay, so what have we got here? Purple Storm. So this is the first of the 3 that hasn't actually got like a name as such, like a flavor. So we'll see what purple tastes like, shall we? Yeah, I see why they don't give it a flavour. Closest thing I can say it's to is Vimto. If you live in the UK, you'll know what that means. Yeah, it's kind of its own thing. So it's a mixture of different fruity flavours. In the same way that you kind of struggle to pinpoint what Dr. Pepper tastes like, it's a similar deal. It doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper, but it's a similar deal where it's hard to pin down. So it's kind of like a mixed fruit, mixed berry flavour there, almost like a bit of spice or something at the back. But yeah, pretty nice. So far, favourite is the strawberry watermelon. Right, now onto this one, I'm going to find the lid. What are we saying? Okay, so this is another one which has a nondescript name. So this is stealth flavoured. Now, I would assume from the colour of it that it's going to taste like apple or grape or something like that. So let's find out. Let's give it a bit of a stir. So looking at these, this one has a bit more kind of dust on the top than the others. I don't know if that's just kind of the colour that it's gone in the water or if it hasn't mixed quite as well as the other four. So let's see. Yeah, it's an apple flavour with something else there that I'm struggling to pinpoint. Now, I'm no good with describing flavours, as you may be figuring out. It's kind of an apple mixed with some kind of spice or something in there. I'm hesitant to say cinnamon, but it tastes like there's something else there. So it's like an apple, like a sour apple mixed with something else. Now, would I describe it as stealth? I'm not sure. I feel like this one's more of a stealth than this one, but yeah, I think they could have called that green apple fairly confidently, to be honest. Okay, so last one of these is Tropic Killer. So this will be an interesting one because this pre-workout that I have here is pineapple and tropical flavored anyway, and I do drink a lot of tropical flavored stuff, so this one will be interesting. So I should be able to give you better feedback on this one. Very, very, very similar to this. So it's mostly pineapple. There's maybe a bit of orange and mango there, but it's mostly pineapple, to be honest with you. Quite nice. Again, I probably prefer it to my current one, if I'm being really honest here. It's quite nice, probably my least favorite of the 5. Now, it's hard to say whether that's because it's similar to the one that I use more often. But yeah, so looking at these 5, now these aren't the only 5 flavors that they do, but these are the ones that stood out to me. I would say my favorite is the strawberry watermelon. That's really, really quite nice, actually. I would order that one again. And then I quite like the purple storm, again, very Vimto-y, if you know what that means. Would I go for either of these two? Probably not. They're fairly standard flavors, and I know I would get sick of the tropical one. I think the sour apple is going to be a very acquired taste. These two are much less assuming than the other 3. Blue raspberry is quite strong, but again, if you trying it again, yeah, that's noticeably sweeter than the other 4. Sorry, I would say that the apple and the blues. See, I'm saying apple. The stealth and the blue raspberry are significantly sweeter than the other 3. So you're going to want a sweet tooth for those. But overall, I have to say these flavors are really nice. Compared to other pre-workouts I've had, I think the flavors are much stronger and just kind of nicer than others. I feel like these are going to mix better with your drinks than some kind of bigger brand mainstream fitness pre-workouts. So I'm going to taste a bit of this one. I know exactly what it tastes like already. And I'm not mad about that, because first off, and I don't know if you can tell from this far, you can see like the residue on the cup. This is the exact same amount of pre-workout that I've poured into these. And I can feel it on my lips as I'm drinking it. There's still lumps in the bottom. Whereas these, it's like a fine dust, which you can easily get up with a spoon, whereas that is actual lumps. So far on just taste and consistency and everything, compared to this Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard pre-workout, these are wiping the floor with it so far. Now, the one thing I have to address for me is that this is tested for banned substances, which is a big deal for athletes at the higher level, like I am. You need to make sure you know what's in the stuff that you're consuming. So these are hesitant to say a bit of a risk, but ultimately they are, compared to things that are banned substance tested, informed sport approved, that kind of thing. So there's that to take into account. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed so far. So I'm going to wait until the end of the week. I'm going to pop these in the fridge and have probably one a day for the next week. And I will hit you back up at the end of the week and let you know how they've performed as pre-workout. Let's go. Okay, so end of the week. I have tried all 5 of those, and honestly the first thing that I realised was that I rarely take pre-workout. I don't have that much caffeine either. I don't drink coffee or anything like that, so it was quite a lively week actually. That being said, I do take pre-workout, so I was able to compare how I felt. I think the main thing was I got quite a high peak. I did get quite a high peak off them, but I did feel like I came down slightly quicker than I do with some other pre-workouts. So about half an hour in, when you would expect caffeine to hit, had that great peak, but then maybe only lasted half an hour, 45 minutes from what I could tell. Whereas I know with others that might, you might be able to ride the crest of that wave for more like an hour. So I did come down harder off it, or faster rather, though I'll say I didn't come down any harder than I would normally off other ones. So it just kind of peaked a bit quicker really, which is what you should expect from a pre-workout, is a hard, fast peak in energy. But what strikes me with all of this is that often, whether that's in working out or especially in gaming, nothing lasts that long really. So what I mean is that everything's longer than that kind of half an hour window of being really buzzed. So it's hard to say whether these are good for gaming, because if you want to peak for that one first game, maybe second game, great. But be aware that an hour later you're going to come back down and you're going to need something maybe to bring you back up or to level off, otherwise you're just going to crash. So it's a tricky one for gaming, and I think it's a whole different discussion to say whether the pre-workout at all is good for gaming. But in general, and this goes the same for working out, if it helps you get moving, get started, and you can deal with that come down, then it's certainly a good thing, because I like the phrase, he who has begun is half done. If this helps you get started and get on the move, then cool. I actually enjoyed drinking these ones. I think you could tell from last week when I was talking about it, I don't really get along with my current pre-workout, that tropical one. So whereas these ones were much nicer, and I looked forward to kind of having them with my workout, if that makes sense. The flavors were really good, quite sweet. Like I said, certain ones were way sweeter than the others. The blue and the green were really quite sweet. I really did enjoy the strawberry watermelon one though. If these things were athlete approved, I would probably order the strawberry watermelon one again. Now they're quite expensive, but then pre-workout is generally rather expensive. So it's hard to say whether I would order a full tub of it at that price, considering I don't use it that much. It's quite a heavy hit to take, about £40 hit on something that, I don't use that much. But if I'm looking for a pre-workout, I would certainly consider that. Of course, my circumstances there are fairly unique. So if you're watching this and you're not drugs tested, cool, go for it. And I genuinely would recommend these over even C4 pre-workout that I've used, and a couple of other mainstream pre-workout ones. These gaming ones seem fairly nice. I think they're sweeter, and like I said, you get a sharper peak, but maybe that's what you want from a pre-workout. I'm not here to kind of judge your situation. I hope that was interesting, guys, and I hope you liked hearing my kind of perspective on those things. I've got a bunch of different how-tos and reviews on this channel, so it would mean the world if you hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.